What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Seth, and today we're going to be talking about some of the updates to the Trove content that I've kind of had a suspicion about for quite some time. However, I didn't really want to talk about any of these details until I had some reference content, and now I actually have a page open right now to MMORPG.com who actually finally ended up making a post that confirms a lot of the things that I already kind of was guessing and a lot of the other endgame people were guessing, so I can finally start talking to all of you about some of the things that are going to be coming into play with the game, including like power level, what it's for, as well as some of those adventure worlds that I've hinted at in some of the episodes in the series and stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of skim through the post that's on MMORPG. Link will be in the description if I didn't already say that, and I'm going to just kind of talk about like some of the highlights. So first and foremost, I already knew that they were going to be increasing the class level, and it turns out that that confirmed number is now going to be level 30. So all of the classes in the game are going to have 10 more levels, which is very exciting because it means that there's going to be a little bit more grinding for someone like myself. Like for endgame people, this is great because it means that we can finally actually gain something while hunting instead of just grinding up our tomes and stuff like that, you know? But the disappointing thing is that this unfortunately means that the direction of Trove is kind of going in a little bit of a very like, well, I guess without, you know, kind of soft coding it's very much pushing money, because like I was talking with Scythis earlier and he was saying too, and he made a good point where they're gonna start slowly introducing like more levels and grinding and stuff like that so that they can make the grinding level like so ridiculous that people are going to want to buy Patron so that it's a little bit more pay to win because it's, you know, double experience and stuff like that when you actually have Patron. Now, that said, I don't want to scare anybody away from the game itself because some of the updates that are coming are actually very exciting. Like I said, that's going to be very, very good for endgame players like myself, not very good for new players, unfortunately. And I mean, as you can see, like there's already so many classes, that's going to be tricky, man. Even for someone like me, that is going to be very, very tricky to max out all the classes, especially because there is no reference whatsoever. Not saying that they won't do it, but they haven't talked about actually rebalancing the classes or anything like that. And unfortunately, this, you know, upping the level cap to 30 kind of tells me that they're taking the lazy way out and just going to make it like, oh, there's a level increase, so all the classes did get stronger, right? While not actually rebalancing the numbers and doing all the harsh calculations that this game would require to actually become a bit more of a balanced game. Now, the only reason that I'm even making that point is because that means that classes like the Knight and Gunslinger, sure, they're going to end up being stronger versions of themselves when they get to level 30, but compare that to the Chronomancer or the Chloromancer and the Lunar Lancer, who are going to be just even stronger and more OP than they already are. Like, I don't know, man. So the other thing too that they have talked about is they are going to end up introducing a new gem system that will augment each of the character classes' abilities so that you can kind of change them and make them a little bit more customized to your own playstyle. Think Diablo 3, but with a lot less customization to your actual character's design and stuff like that. Now, for those that don't know Diablo 3, I'll just talk about this real quick because I don't want to talk about other games while we're talking about Trove. Diablo 3 had a similar system where you could actually like change your character's abilities. Almost every ability in the game had like so many altering versions of them that you could actually design some really freaky, weird characters that would be so unique but still functional and playable. And because of that, you were able to find the most optimal build. Now, with a game like Trove that is not necessarily a very complex MMO, I'm expecting that when they do introduce this, people are going to like, it's going to be a mad race to try and find what the new ultimate ability combination is and for what class. Now, hopefully that is going to make it so that some of the older classes, say the Gunslinger or the Knight, maybe they will become a lot more powerful with a certain combination of spells, you know? So that could be really, really interesting. Now, as far as all the hints are concerned of what they're actually talking about, I've just been looking at some of this stuff. A few of the things that they've mentioned about like augmenting the class abilities and stuff like that, it doesn't sound like it's going to be that much customization. Like they kind of seem to be keeping a lid on it. It could end up being 10 times cooler than we could have ever imagined. But from what I can tell, I think it's going to be something very similar to emblems, but for your class ability. So it's going to be like one of the ones that they mention here is the ability for the Ice Sage is Ice Bomb attack. I have no idea what ability they're referencing when they say that, but they're saying that it can cause you can turn it into a blizzard that can be dragged around, freezing everything in its path. So I assume they mean its ultimate ability. I'm not exactly sure what that means, honestly. But then they talk about the more like some of the ones that are a little less cool than that one sounds, where the Boomeranger's ultimate ability, you can change it so that his pot will only drop chickens. Now, that is more to what I've been hearing lately, is just augmenting the abilities that are already in the game rather than adding a whole bunch of new abilities that you could augment into. Now, time will tell whether or not they actually do something like that, and I could be dead wrong about all of this because it's all just theories and all just, you know, kind of guesstimations on what's actually going on. But I have been playing Trove for well over a year now, and just out of their design, like the way that the devs kind of approach things, I really don't expect them to make like some huge, like, oh, there's this mega update that we've been holding off on since Trove launched, you know? So I wouldn't get my hopes up too much, although I am still very excited for it nonetheless, you know? And the biggest thing that I'm excited for is the fact that they're going to be introducing new types of portals. It doesn't really talk so much about it or how they're going to be introduced. However, they are talking about, let me actually scroll down here, the utility to add new power rank system in Trove, blah, 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 progress through overall stuff like that. The power rank, as it gets higher, you'll get harder and access to harder and harder adventure worlds. There will be different world variations coming in. Think of an ocean that is nothing but lava, an undead sky realm, and undead tree roots kind of coming out of the islands and stuff. You should actually check the link below because the pictures actually look awesome. Seriously, I'm very, very excited for these new types of adventure worlds. But that's the thing too, just because I don't want to trick everybody like they seem to be trying to do to everybody, is rather than them developing some type of new biome, it seems like they're just really starting to mess with the current code in the game and start making alterations of current biomes. Like the fact that there's a Skyland biome, but with an undead rather than, you know, the Radiant biome, I guess let's call it, that's actually in the Sky Portal, right? So time will tell, but either way, I'm very excited. They also talk about like a world consisting of nothing but shadow raids. So I guess it could be like a dark evil world. Maybe there is a new biome secretly coming in, because I mean, we all know that they've talked about the Underdark 5 years ago. I think that actually was talked about even before they started talking about Skyrim, or maybe it was just slightly after. It was supposed to be a biome, or a world, I guess I should say, a world portal that was going to be nothing but underground. So the other thing too that they have talked about is in the future they want to introduce like moon or planetary like space type of biomes in Skyworld. So it would be like there'd be the Radiant floating islands and then maybe the moon floating islands. But an update like this that actually introduces an undead biome that's got Skyworld and stuff like that kind of tells me that they're kind of gonna be moving away from that and focusing on this power mantle stuff. Now, this is very exciting. However, of course, that's one of the things that I guess is a little bit of a bad habit, let's say, of the devs, is they kind of start developing something, they get excited about it, they start telling everybody that they're developing it, and then they start moving on to something like this. Like the fact that we've been hearing nothing about, hearing nothing but, I should say, talk about the new Hydra boss that's going to be replacing hard mode Daughter of the Moon and Shadow Towers. Now suddenly they're focused on all this stuff, and it's like, what happened to Hydra? You know, that was talked about a long time ago when Shadow Towers were first introduced, right? But anyways, I do not want to give the impression that I'm talking negatively about these new features that are coming to the game, because I myself am actually very excited, dudes and dudettes. I mean, seriously, because adventure content, that's the thing. As far as Trove is concerned, adventure content, building, and clubs. Those are the three key items that make Trove separate from most other MMOs and actually make this one of my favorite MMOs of all time. And it's very unfortunate that they have barely ever touched the surface of any of those 3 features. You know, clubs have barely gotten any new upgrades outside of the new warp portals that we actually got, which are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the fact that there's like such limitations on how to actually manage a club. I mean, I'm managing like, you know, I was managing 5 clubs full of 750 members, and I think I know what I'm talking about when I say that the management is just not there. Even right now, the fact that we have to go into the clubs and start scrolling through and trying to find certain people that have been offline for such a time, you know, like you should be able to sort that and stuff like that. Also, the fact that it only really affects like people like me, and I'm sure there's other people at the end game like that, but the fact that it took them so long to have an accept all friends request thing in the game. And again, I do not want to sound like I'm being narcissistic or negative about these things. I'm actually very, very excited about it, and I hope all of you are. Just wanted to kind of talk about some of these things, just to kind of give you a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, because I know that everyone's actually very, very worried and very disappointed at the recent updates, more specifically Class for Cash Edition, where everyone's very, very scared that Trove is starting to turn pay to win. And of course, that is no surprise, because that's kind of what Tryon Worlds has done with all their other games. Now, if you go into it thinking that they're going to do that, then I mean, you can only be happy with the results, right? So either way, you know, take that as you will. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the patch and, well, the patch. What about the updates that are going to come? These are supposed to be coming later this month, as far as I can tell. And I'm very excited for it. You know, they have actually shown off. There was a couple weeks ago, the devs actually did show off the floating sky worlds in a stream, as well as that Chinese dragon we're all still waiting for to show up on PTS. It should actually be showing up on the live server next week too, which is very, very exciting. But anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to clue you all in on what's going on. You can read the full article down the links below. But of course, you know, they're trying to act like it's a really, really like insane thing. Like, what is the headline of this? It made me laugh. It's ridiculous. The mantle of power changes the game forever. Like, yeah, right, man. It's not gonna change like the game forever. No more than any update does, you know? So anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope that you've been enjoying, you know, the Trove series and stuff like that. Everybody keeps getting worried. I am not going to quit by any means necessary. I absolutely love this game, blah, 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 and I love all of you. Seriously, all the support that I've been getting throughout this Trove series has been absolutely amazing, and it's really, really helped with my YouTube channel's growth, and the fact that I can just play the games that I do and just have all of you involved and be able to make your day a little bit brighter. That's why I do it. Like, seriously, I absolutely love my job. I love this game, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.